Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Nobunaga's Ambition, Masamune's Ambition, really. Sphere of Influence on the Mysterious JG, just saving between videos there because I realized that that's probably a good idea in case I ever have a massive recording failure. And saving before important decisions doesn't really make sense unless it's an important decision I make at the end of a video, since I'm not planning to use save scumming in this. So, roads are being improved, and we've really hit the end of... I mean, the road improvement never ends in this game, but since we're going to be loading... Or, sorry, I keep saying loading. We're going to be starting a new scenario at some point after our plot events are completed so that we can get the other plot events for the Date, and I'll do all the Date clan events in one LP, since you can't really do that because there's a Date clan event specific to Sekigahara, and all the other Date clan events are sent before it happens. But... point is, we're at the end of the road work that would be useful here, unless I just decide I want to improve all the roads. But the road work that will actually improve the cities that we're going to be working from, we're just about wrapping that up. Grimith Reaper has begun improving roads. Masamune Date has begun improving a road, since he only had one road he was assigned to improve. And we have protected Nihonmatsu Castle for 1 year, so that is accomplished. And quest, the Battle of Osaki and Koriyama, has been accomplished as well. I don't know if it was the Battle of Osaki and Koriyama or the Battles of Osaki and Koriyama, but I know it's on the screen. I've gained the Combat Eyes trait with this new... Sorry, excuse me. I've gained the Combat Eye trait. Unless it's got, like, you know, a Raven Eye or something. I've gained the Combat Eye trait. With this new power, this land is mine. I've obtained the Fortifier trait. The heavens will fear of my might. Hear of my might, not fear of my might. So I've picked up the Strategist trait. I've got this. If I've got this. There's a little translation wonkiness going on in this game. Due to the valiance of its warriors and a few spots of luck, the Date clan managed to struggle its way to territorial expansion. That's broadly accurate. I would say I made that a struggle with some poor decisions on food management, but it's kind of like when I made the error, I was kind of like, oh, I could load and go back a few months and not march, or I could even turn around, but I was like, pride. I'll see if I can swing this. Finally, Masamune decided to move his troops to defeat the formidable Ashina clan that had been threatening the Date up until now. The time is ripe for action. It's ripe, all right. Too ripe. Ripe enough to rot. As you say, my lord, the core of the Ashina has already rotted away. First, that's true, they've kind of been taken over as a satellite state of the Satake, haven't they? First, let us gather our soldiers at Inawashiro Castle and put the blade to its residents' throats. Thought we weren't doing that anymore. All right, prepare for battle. The Ashina's been on our backs for far too long, and the time to shut them up is now. Quests. The Battle of Shiragahara. Start. The Battle of Shiragahara. Those of the old system, guarded by habit and blood, sought little else but ease and pleasure. Masamune's fight to break the system was coming to a promising end. Proceed with historical quest? Yes. Capture Inawashiro Castle? So that's our first objective, and Inawashiro Castle is kind of the gateway to their lands. It's got 1,500, or only got 1,000 HP, which means it is not the most formidable of their castles. It's only got 1,000 HP, actually. It's not their most formidable castle, but attacking it will probably draw out the rest of their forces. But the fact that we've been selling food and working on domestic improvements means we probably don't want to rush this. We've got a truce with the Megami, and would actually be pretty smart. That should last for a while, actually. Their diplomatic status is refused, but we still got 49 months of truce, so honestly, it would be kind of weird if I can't accomplish this within that amount of time. But it would certainly be a good idea to deal with this before the Megami are there, because in theory, and I'm toying with the idea of, I don't like, so difficulty settings. This has been a bit easy. I've made some kind of sloppy decisions and haven't been punished for it. So I'm thinking I might have to crank up the difficulty a bit next time, possibly. I'm thinking about it for, the Sekigahara scenario. Although the difficulty in that one might just be in the fact that the Date are not a clan that's positioned to take over Japan. But still, I might crank it up. But the things they let you change in the difficulty settings, a lot of it has to do with having the AI get gold and food faster than you do. Like, they are... they get bonuses to how quickly they get gold and food, and you get, penalties. And I don't like that at all. But the idea of setting up the AI difficulty, I don't really know what the difference is between low-level and high-level AI in this game. But you can separately set AI difficulty level and aggression. And cranking up the aggression level might be reasonable. Because I've played other Nobunaga's Ambitions games where you have to be super careful, because anytime you attack, you will be attacked by some third party. And that was kind of what allowed the Sengoku Jidai to last as long as it did. Like, nobody was ever really safe attacking their rivals because another rival could attack from behind. I mean, there was a deadlock between the Hojo and the Takeda and the Tokugawa for a long time. Nobody could act on anybody else. Like, the Takeda couldn't really, and the Uesugi as well. The Takeda and the Uesugi couldn't ever really commit to destroying each other because the Hojo would come in and attack either one of them, etc., etc., etc. So I'm thinking about messing with that. But yeah, definitely, if we just, if this truce with the Megami ends, and we just march everybody out of Yonezawa Castle, the Megami really should attack Yonezawa Castle. There's nobody else on the map who's a threat. The Nanbu aren't that powerful, and they would have to march all the way through the Kasai to attack us anyway. Yeah, and pretty soon, the Soma clan is going to be in a life-or-death struggle against the Satake. So really, the Satake continue to be the main threat. And I don't recall them really doing that much to help the Agami here. Not the Agami, I'm blanking on the names of the guys that we're trying to take out. The Ashina. Anyway, let's get back to it. Iwaki clan was eliminated by Satake clan. You'd think they'd be friends. Their names sound so similar. So my ambition meets its end. Nasu clan's leader has died, and some other guy took over.
Let us begin the meeting.
JG Mystery has supplanted Grimmeth, which is why he stopped watching the LP after video number 2. He just got pissed off.
Here is last month's balance.
I don't know if that's true, that he stopped watching, or that he stopped watching for that reason. I do remember Grimmeth making a comment or two in the very early videos, and one of them was that I moved his character out of the capital, and he basically declared, okay, I guess my character is going to disappear from this LP from now on. Okay, bye. And I'm like, not really. Being in the main castle prevents you from being active, because you're so many other officers in the city that your officer's never going to get tasked with doing anything. You have to go to a place that's only got 2 or 3 other officers before you really get to act that often.
Reporting in.
The peace in the Ono tribe worked very well. I think they are now going to give us the assistance of Ultimo Dragon, the Super J Crown champion. And of course, Monkey Merc's training has paid off. Monkey Merc, it's been an interesting character study in this LP. He was extremely useful in our victory at holding Mogami Castle against the Ogre of Hitachi and the Ashina and everybody else, but then he started acting like he was conspiring against us. So I kind of quietly shifted him off someplace where he couldn't create any trouble, and I wouldn't know whether or not. So his loyalty is 15. He no longer has the discontentment thing, so I think they kind of gave up. I bumped up his loyalty by making him Lord of a Castle, although I thought he was already Lord of a Castle. But he seems pretty happy now, but he's been moved away from the front line, so I hope he's not too pissed. let's go back and look at the portraits, because there was a specific guy I wanted to check up on, too. Actually, how's Akira Ando's loyalty? Akira Ando's loyalty is through the roof. Because I gave her a treasure, made her later at the castle. Other than, like, having some mild personal, like, she and Masamune are not exactly drinking buddies. She seems pretty happy. And, yeah, Shigezane he's part of the clan. He's not gonna... We don't really need to worry about him. Okami Hato, been quietly one of the more useful officers I've got. Like, not really doing things that are jumping up and gaining attention, but... Bobo had been super useful too, but there's a specific non-created character I'm looking for, because we went out of our way to try to make him happy. Eventide Fate is... she kind of ended up in a backwater. Hopefully we'll find some... Is she like a super war officer? She's not a bad war officer. I will make an effort during the Sekigahara scenario to actually use the created officers, because there will come a point where I am going to have more than one district, because the force will be huge, and I will try to make sure the created officers stay in the one that's manually being controlled. This guy, on the other hand, sometimes shows blatant hostility. Keeping Master Retainer may be difficult. He's going to get over it. Basically, what it comes down to is when he's been with the Date clan long enough for the isn't the Date clan my sworn enemy thing to wear off, he'll be fine. Meanwhile, those of you who have like required loyalties that are relatively low, God bless you. I know it might be fun to be like one of the guys who I have to really take care of because you get mentioned a lot, but like, yeah, Kalan Owari Sanada, you the man, brah. I never have to worry about giving you treasures. I never have to worry about making you a lord rather than a retainer. You are going to just, like, be freaking good at your job and useful throughout. Alright, anyway. So I'm not in a huge rush to attack because I don't have a lot of food because I spent all the freaking food. But with all these cities growing, we should be able to build more facilities. And with the roadworks completed, I should start slowly stockpiling a decent amount of gold. So we'll get Monkey Work to Merc. He's going to start working towards halfway decent facilities. I guess that was all the facilities we really needed.
What would you like?
I can actually buy treasures. No, I can't. I can't afford any of those. They're just taunting me, basically. I could, in theory, buy some muskets, or I can just make sure our labor isn't going to waste. Double check on this guy. He's really close to either defecting, or I'm going to get the message saying his attitude has changed, which basically would mean they've increased his loyalty outside of the range where I'm allowed to do this. We got some tribes that are not as gung-ho about us as they used to be. So it's for a minimal amount of gold to keep them happy just in case. It's probably gold well spent. And at the minimum, I'm going to need to wait until harvest before I march on that one castle. And then I have to think about whether I want to finish the Ashina off or give them another year of life to stockpile some more. Because again, bearing on my mind is the fact that technically to really fully complete this scenario and have all of our holdings that we should have at the beginning of the Sekigahara scenario, I need to take over these guys. And I believe historically the Date took their territory in battle. It wasn't just given to them by Hideyoshi in the land reallotment that will be a big part of Sekigahara. Matter of fact, I'm looking forward to... There's several of you guys are role-playing in the... Several of you guys are role-playing in the comment section, which is always fun to read. Varying degrees of my gameplay. You know, Masamune's leadership being kind of like, you know, smack talk. But those are always fun to read. I'm looking forward to reading everybody's write-ups of the beginning of the Sekigahara campaign, because a lot of what we're taking at this point, we may not get to keep all of it once Hideyoshi gets to decide who has what. And Masamune Not probably a huge fan of Hideyoshi, honestly. Sadatsuna Uichi has grown more discontent and will defect to us if we ask. Shall we continue to conspire? This may be the most interesting possibility, but we can keep going. We can, you can use the discontent mechanic to make it so they won't fight you. You can use it to make it so they turn on their allies in battle. Or you can just make them leave the force outright without even having combat involved. So I haven't decided which one of those I want to do. But I don't know that the Ashina have the resources to increase this guy's loyalty. But it might be more fun to make him defect in battle. That'll only... Honestly, here's the thing I gotta know. Is he still here? Or did they move him? He's still here. 5378. Probably Yoshihiro Ashina will actually lead a unit because with his rank, I think he would have the... He would command the largest unit. And his adjuncts are likely to be Takazane and probably this guy. He might be. That thing is, it makes a difference. If he's leading a unit, we can make him defect. If he's only an adjunct, he probably won't help us that much. I don't really know how that's going to work. So it might be interesting to try. So this is the power of the lucky trade. I'm not going to lose to anyone.
Your orders?
I technically lost the last fight I was in, but I mean, come on. That was pretty badass.
Here's last month's balance. Reporting in.
Piston Honda Tribe supports us. Oh no, Tribe supports us even more. My training's paid off, etc. They want more upgrades. So you do not actually have an annex. But you would actually need better walls before you could build an annex anyway. So I don't know that getting into castle development is worth it. I mean, here you're already ready to go. But no, I mean, the castle development would increase the... I guess I could vaguely care about it up here, but... Probably spend my gold on other things right now.
What would you like?
Like muskets. But even that doesn't seem necessary. Who do they want us to do diplomacy with? They want us to do diplomacy with the Tamura clan. We only have 23 months of alliance left with them, and as soon as that ends, we can crush them whenever if we want to. Now let's let it go a little bit longer so we can see all of the options. And adjacent bases are continuing to improve. I'm kind of surprised at how few facilities we have to build, but here it is.
Your orders? Here's last
It
month's
is
balance.
August, I think.
Reporting in.
Gain day harvest of rice, 28,000. And, oh, it's September, excuse me. So we can certainly march now. Did I save between videos? I'm not sure if I saved between videos. Let's give it a shot. So, betray. Actually, let's quit out. And let's look in the war and others. Unhonorable and disabled. Weather. Coverts. Entice and collude. When you collude, you can strike up a deal with an enemy clan's officer. You can pacify them, have them betray their clan, or extract them. You can only bring these up with officers who have low loyalty and high discontent. The pacify command allows you to promise not to attack each other's units or bases. It becomes effective when you engage a unit with the target officer. If you do not engage an officer within 3 months of the time the promise is made, it is abandoned. The betray command has the target officer defect to your clan when your units engage in battle. The effect changes depending on the type of battle that occurs, but the officer will always join you. When you surround a base with the target officer, the enemy's base morale drops. When you engage a unit with the target officer, part of the enemy's unit will join you. That's what we want to do. That would be fun. When the target officer is the only officer in the base or the unit, the entire base or unit will become yours. Like Pacified, the promise lasts 3 months. The extract command persuades the target officer to join you immediately. The officer needs to have 100 discontent before you can extract them. Unlike Pacify and Betray, you cannot extract the target officer while they are marching. So what we're going to want to do is betray, convince the opponent to betray their allies at war, confirm. They say that's going to take 5 days, but then it will take. We have 3 months to complete, so we actually don't want to march right away. I want to make sure he's agreed before we march. So let's just go one more time here.
What would you like?
Spend all of our money on muskets. Let the time slip away. Our collusion messengers returned with a reply from Sadatsuna Uichi. Alright, I promise to defect you should we meet on the battlefield within 3 months. So he's agreed to betray. Maybe I should have marched and then sent that message, actually. Because I'm not sure how the timing is going to work.
Let us begin the meeting. Here's last month's balance.
So we bought a lot of muskets.
Reporting in.
Used all of our labor. And now it is time to march on Inawashiro Castle. So you guys, I do want to march up here because I want you to harass anybody who interferes. Otherwise, yeah, you guys should be able to do it. You got 1,000 troops. You got 800 troops. This is the unit here, 3,000. That's the main. And we need to consider bringing these guys from all the way up here. It'll take a while to get there, but Vulture Bobo leading the armies of the north could help with the rest of this. It really just depends on whether we have enough food. Because I don't see a reason not to march everybody, frankly. Because once I take this castle, we can just finish off the Ashina once and for all. I need to check and see if the video is almost over, because we could start the next video with the big throwdown. I got about 5 minutes to go. Yeah, there's really... We got peace with our other neighbors. There's kind of no reason not to march everybody. So let's march everybody. Because we'll take this castle first, and then we'll get our next plot objective, which is almost certainly to take a different Ashina clan castle. everybody will already be out. Full court press. Not worried about the Kasai. They're too weak. We're not worried about the Megami. We have a treaty with them. We're not worried about the Uesugi, who'd have too far to march, and we could get back in time to defend. You little guys here are not dangerous enough. You guys would have to get through them first. And Satake seem to be focused on the Soma right now. Every time we've tried to do anything, the Satake have been the big threat. But honestly, what are we going to do with the Satake if they attack us except mass our troops against them? So why not have them all in the field ready for action? And you know what?
Let's show them how a dragon fights!
I'm going to go ahead and issue the order. I know I said I had a few minutes left to go, but I think we can save the game right here. And the order to march has been issued. And when we come back next time, we will set out. We'll see if this intrigue of working with, what's his name, Uichi. Can't remember the officer's name. I want to call him Sadatsuma Uichi, and turns out that's wrong, but I'm sure. But we'll see if that intrigue is going to lead to anything interesting. We'll see if the Ashina have any ability whatsoever to hold off our attack. And we'll see whether I feel like actually waiting out the alliance with the Kasai clan so that we can take them out completely. Because if I don't feel like doing that, it could be that we're a video or two away from just having a 5 to 10 year gap where like Masamune apparently blacks out or just gets mono or something and doesn't do anything for a decade. And then suddenly we jump into the Date clan as it exists after Hideyoshi's rise to power, the siege of Odawara Castle, the fall of the Hojo, and then Hideyoshi's death. Because those are the big events that are going to take place between the end of what we're doing right now and the beginning of the next scenario. I'm the Mysterious JG. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you'll come back next time for more of Nobunaga's Ambition Sphere of Influence. Bye-bye.